Good evening, everyone. It is August 1st, 2024. I just want to come in here real brief, not too long. Um, it's not what it seems. Pay attention. Some things sort of disturb me in my spirit. Um, and I just wanted to come in and just kind of put some things out there in the atmosphere. You know, everybody's caught up in Kamala Harris, Trump, what he'll do, what Kamala Harris won't do. But I paid close attention to the National Association of Black Journals and Journalists thing with Donald Trump and the young lady asking questions, which she had every right to ask questions. But it seems to me when a black woman asks questions that seem to come off as aggressive, but yet you have this Caucasian individual can sort of dismiss and say what he wants to say, everybody say it's okay. But then you have Kamala Harris who has Megan Thee Stallion on stage twerking. Everybody says that's not okay. My question to everyone, what is it that you're looking for, but what is it that you don't see between both of them? See, it's easy to come out and give me what you think I want to hear instead of really telling me the truth. One is really showing you in your face who he really is and who he has always been. Whereas the other one already told you that she wasn't going to give you reparations. But in the same vein, if she did anything for black people, everyone benefits. TS, thank you for being here. Well, TS, I'm quite sure you're not distracted. I honestly believe that. I think there's some of us out here, whether you're on YouTube listening to whatever rhetoric or whatever it is, or whether you're watching regular TV. But the issue is you don't have to tell somebody who you voting for. You don't have to tell somebody what a party affiliation you belong to. And if you don't vote, they'll tell you, oh, you don't have nothing to say. Well, damn it, before you was even allowed to vote, you was complaining and marching the goddamn streets. So what difference does it make? Whether you vote or not, you still have something to say. Don't get into this illusion that every time 4 years come up or 2 years come up, that you got to vote for somebody because, like I'll say it again, the very same people that you're putting up in Congress and the very same people that you're putting in the state houses in your own states, do we really even know them? Do they really even come to our neighborhoods and really speak to us? But see, we so bothered by other shit that we don't even have an agenda to say what we want. Our beloved Dr. Claude Anderson has said it time and time and time again. Melanated Americans, black folks, has to have an agenda. See, we've gotten so far behind the 8 ball that we're so caught up in reparations. You were free longer than you were a so-called slave in this country because we were already here free. We know that part of our history, well, at least some of us do. But I don't think people are really getting the real backstory here. See, there's some things I want to say, but I'm not allowed to say on YouTube because I know for a fact that if I do say them and I put them into a perspective that aligns up with God, they will snatch this channel off. This digital platform. It's no different when I say things on IG. They tell me I'm going against community guidelines because I support some of the things that Minister Farrakhan says and what my brother West Coast Cam says. I'm not saying anything hateful. I'm not saying anything out of the way. I'm not saying anything derogatory. I'm not putting anyone down. It's referencing our people and how we should act and demand what we need. But I get a DM saying I'm going against community guidelines. Well, you assholes been going against community guidelines since all this shit was created. You allow people to show people getting killed. You allow people to show people getting berated. You allow people getting threats online and all this other kind of shit, but it don't go against community guidelines. But because I support another black man or a sister that's speaking the truth and you don't like it, so that tells me I must have struck a nerve by what I said. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be loved. I can honestly care less. And I know some people might have a problem with what I'm getting ready to say, but the devil's seat is the White House. Your president is a figure. He ain't signing no checks. It's Congress that has the purse. He has very limited power. And I don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a Democrat. They are fighting amongst themselves in their own houses because they don't know what the hell they want. Then you got the people that's trying to do the right thing. They get marginalized. Where is the so-called Democratic Black Caucus? Where is the Republican Black Caucus, if any, even if it ain't just one? But no, some of them are acting just like them. Some of these Republican attorney generals, when the appellate courts, for perfect example, Christopher Dunn out of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, the attorney general, is fighting for the correction of prisons to not let this man out of prison who has served a 34-year sentence for a crime that he did not commit. This is not the first time. It's been plenty of times. And you want to talk about Donald Trump and the Republican Party and the Democrat? They are two sides of the same coin, but they pretend that they don't like each other on TV. But yet, when they're not in front of your face, they are dialoguing, they're having coffee, they're having breakfast, they're having drinks together. And they're getting along just fine, but yet they playing in your goddamn face. You tell me when any president, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, when have they gave you an extra $10,000 or $15,000 on your paycheck, whether it was salary or hourly? When have they decided to help your family create generational wealth? They're not going to do it and never will. But then you complain about, oh, well, she says she's Indian, but now she want to be black. Oh, this, that, and the third. But every goddamn president before Barack Obama was a Caucasian who owned slaves and still didn't do shit for us. But yet, you're going to entrust yourself with a man who supposedly did so much for black people during COVID. Bullshit. Because Kamala Harris, when she was Attorney General in California, she did a lot of crafty shit, locking a lot of people up for weed. But at the same time, I'm not going to make no excuses for those who go out there, do crimes. I don't give a damn whether you live in a Republican state or a Democratic state. Your ass put yourself in jail. So stop using this mantra. Well, oh, they locking us all up. No, you locking your goddamn self up, but nobody wants to tell the truth. It's one thing to be locked up for being innocent, but it's one thing to be locked up for doing wrong. Weed, yeah, I get it, but that was a federal law. Now it was legal in some states, but not all. But y'all want to steady complain about Washington, D.C. It's a business. It's not about the people. It's not even about poor people. It's not even about black people. It's about the people that's running this goddamn country. It's their best interest, not yours. Because if it was our best interest, what I saw today, immigrants getting cash in the thousands and getting food stamps in the thousands, but we got homeless people here on the goddamn street. We got kids being killed senselessly. But then if you make too much money, you can't get food stamps. You tell me what the problem is. But yet, if I print so much money, it causes inflation because it ain't backed by nothing. Housing prices is going through the roof. But you want to send billions of taxpayer dollars overseas to take care of other countries that's fighting wars that don't have nothing to do with us. And you want to sit there and say our military is fighting for our freedom? Well, goddamn it, the last time I checked, we all goddamn free. Who you trying to kid? Is fear mongering and propaganda, and this man want to tell you, oh, well, the immigrants that's coming here taking away black jobs. What black job you talking about, Trump? You talk about picking cotton? Is that what you talking about? Because you damn sure ain't creating no jobs, and neither will Kamala Harris if she was president. Neither one of y'all ain't creating jobs for no damn body. So knock it the fuck off. Yeah, I said it. Understand this. It's all fun and games when they taking your money and taking it overseas. But the minute you bitch and complain about it, don't nobody want to hear shit you got to say. But every 4 years they want to say, oh, we need you to get out and vote. Really? Vote for what? Who you voting for? What are you voting for? It's a game, but it's business at the same time. Why is it that it can be $4 or $5 here in the state of California for gas, but it can be $2.35 in Texas or $1.35 in fucking Idaho or Indiana some goddamn way? But we're all getting the same barrels of oil from the same goddamn country overseas, but it's being raised at different rates in different states. So you tell me what the problem is. Minimum wage is not going up fast enough. with the cost of living. The reality of it is, Jesus said it best: the poor will always be with you. So, this mantra of these things of, oh, the American dream, there was never an American dream. But yet, Republicans want to bitch and complain about forgiving student loans, but yet you bailed out the SNL loan people, you bailed out Ford, you bailed out General Motors, and all this other kind of shit, but you don't want to forgive student loans? We didn't build Ford. Ford is a private owned company, but y'all bailed them out. You bailed the airlines out. Oh, I see. Because you're making money off of people that you said, if you get a college education, then you can do this. Bullshit. Stop lying and speak the truth. So now it came down to this. The state of California requires every high school student to fill out a financial aid packet, or they cannot graduate from high school. What kind of shit is that? Because college ain't for everybody. Trade school ain't for everybody. Some people are just going to go to work. If that's what they want to do, that is their choice. So they're basically telling you, you can't graduate if you don't fill out a financial aid package. But yet, it costs you damn near $60,000 to go to the University of Southern California. That's even if you're an in-state goddamn student. But the cost of tuition is going up across the country, but folks can't even get a decent job to buy enough groceries, even for a fucking family of three. But yet, you want my vote. Wow, I understand. Well, this year, and I'm gonna put it out there, I'm not voting for neither one of them. I don't care for Donald Trump, never have, never will. Especially since he said the Central Park Five didn't need to get out of jail. He wrote some type of letter, I think it was either in the New York Journal or some shit like that. But no, because he posed with the rappers and shit, oh, that makes him cool with black folks. Bullshit, check his rap. But I don't give a damn about Kamala Harris either. Because as a VP, I didn't see her do shit. I don't trust neither party at this point. Because the last time I checked, I go to work just like them. The only difference is they campaign throughout the year. They enjoy their 160, 70, $200,000 job, free medical, and all that shit once they done. But they ain't coming to the hood and saying, oh, well, we'll sit down and have a conversation. They sitting up into the neighborhoods of Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Mar-a-Lago, and Manhattan, and all that kind of shit with the big wigs, the donors. So it just proves the point. The donors got the money. Because if they can hold 90 million from the current president, what does that tell you? It's about the money. Because if I bring money to the table, then I will listen to you what you want to put on the table. But if you ain't got no money, I'm not listening to you. That's on both sides of the parties. One bird, two wings. But notice the face is facing left and not forward. Might want to think about that. And mind you, those that sit up in those seats, if they're not aligned with the Almighty, truth be told, whether you want to hear it or not, if they're not aligned into what he's talking about according to moral values and spiritual things, they shouldn't get your vote. Because it doesn't make sense. If something is right to do, I got to go to the floor and vote on it. And even though you may know it's right, you don't like it because I'm not part of your party. I sit across the aisle from you. But yet, when they create legislation on both sides of the aisle, they would hold their votes. Back in the day, C-SPAN would show you who voted yes, who voted no, who didn't vote at all. It's all a game. But yet, when you go in the rotundas of the buildings where Congress and the Supreme Court go to, it has the 10 Commandments in the rotundas. They tell you it's a separation of church and state, but it's really not. Truth be told, the powers that be really should be talking to God's true ordained man to see where things should really be for the people, both morally and spiritually, before they pass any law. Yes, that's what they should be doing. Louisiana just passed a law to put the 10 Commandments back into the schools. You see? But yet they'll tell you that this so-called country that was already here, that was already free, that was already founded upon people who already were living here, that it was built on Christian values. Bullshit. Because what you think being a Christian is, it ain't. Christianity is man-made. It ain't got nothing to do with Yeshua, Jesus, the Christ. The Pope came up with the doctrine of discovery, in which he said, I'm going to paraphrase. He said, go out to any country that is not a Christian nation and take it over. I'm paraphrasing. But you don't have to believe me. Go look it up for yourself. Because if you think Trump, Miss Harris, or any other president that's going to save this country, you might want to think again. This country is already doomed. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better. Most empires, on average, last about 250 years at best. And keep in mind, the calendar that we're using is not the real calendar, it's actually off. Jesus was not here 2,000 years ago. Little longer than that. The earth has been around a little longer than you think. But yet they want us to forget about our history. But yet we taught them everything they know. The only difference is we fell asleep at the wheel. Again, the proof is in the pudding. But they made sure after, was it World War One? I believe it was World War Two. It might have been World War One, where the Asians got reparations, got money. They got Chinatown, they got Tokyo and all this other kind of shit. But yet, black folks in the 60s here in Los Angeles couldn't even cross Western, going west of Western towards the Pacific Ocean, because that was white folks' neighborhood. And you think that racism didn't exist all over this country? It did. And the very same laws that they're creating, they are still locking you out. So what are you going to do? You have to do it for yourself. Because no matter what laws they pass federally, it's only going to affect you when shit gets out of pocket. But the state you live in has its own constitution. You got a federal constitution and you got a state constitution and you got all this other stuff in between. But yet, you got all this shit going on, but you're passing all these laws, but you can't legislate behavior. It is up to each and every individual, each and every community to decide what they want to either build up or tear down. But then you get mad about gentrification. This ain't nothing new. What do you think all the redlining is for? They change the red lines damn near every 4 years, so this group can have an advantage over this one. Your delegates and all this other kind of stuff. They're the ones who are deciding because they are technically the lobbyists. The lobbyists are your corporations. But yet they work twofold. And I used this example before. The tobacco industry will tell the Surgeon General to put on the back of the cigarette or on the side of the cigarette pack that says smoking cigarettes is bad for your health and it's not good to smoke while you're pregnant. But yet they will invest billions and millions of dollars into medical or science to figure out, wait a minute, why folks dying of cancer from smoking cigarettes? But they'll campaign and say smoking is not healthy. But yet they're still selling them to you. These companies act just like the Republican and Democratic parties. They tell you one thing to get your attention, but do the opposite of what they're going to do for you, because they've already gotten the money to tell you, hey, vote for me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. every year in every state, they're passing new laws either in January or during the summer. The federal government passed new laws every January. I'm not mistaken. But you got all this shit on the books. But yet, our schools are messed up. Our roads are messed up. Housing prices is going through the roof. Gas prices is going through. All these different tax codes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yet we supposed to make up 13% of the population. They've been saying that shit since I was a little kid, which I think is a lie. They act like black folks ain't have babies. We're more than that, but they don't count everybody. They don't even count the prison population, and they don't even count the people on the street. We're more than 13%. But notice, they always want our vote. You know why? Because everything we do moves this goddamn country. From our culture, whatever little culture we have, whether it's music, whether it's fashion, whether it's sports, even in business. But they won't tell you that. We make shit move. But for some strange reason or another, Cookie, thank you for being here. For some strange reason or another, they want to make you think like you're so dumb and stupid that you don't know how to not only create wealth, you don't know how to build wealth, you don't know how to network. There are people out there networking to make a difference in their community. But as long as they can advertise it, oh, well, black people is low in this area. Well, they're not reading at this level. They're not doing this. You're only basing on a small percent of the population, which technically represents damn near the whole population in itself. Numbers do fucking lie. I learned that a long time ago when I was taking statistics from my professor who worked for the federal government. He said it flat out. Yeah, we know how to manipulate the numbers. Yeah, we know when to tell the truth with the numbers and we know when to lie with the numbers. Numbers do lie. But they want you to make you feel as though you ain't shit. You see how common every 4 years, everything all of a sudden becomes about race? It's not always about race. That's an old tool that's still being used in so-called modern day America. America ain't changed that much. The only difference is social media is exploiting what already has been going on since the 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s. There is nothing new under the sun. It is a game to those who have the power because they know most people are not going to read, they're not going to pay attention. But as long as I can give you a sound bite or show you something within a minute or 2 or 4 minutes and 24 seconds, then I got your attention because I know you're not going to go beyond what I showed you. You're going to believe everything I put out, whether it's 5 seconds or 4 minutes and 24 seconds. But again, don't believe me. It is there. It is righteously there. That's no different. We give the devil more credit than anything. Oh, well, the devil's busy. Well, goddamn it, God busy too. He woke your punk ass up and everybody else that woke up this morning. But he ain't busy. The only difference is God don't need attention. He already got the attention by the moon, the stars, the rain, the snow, the sleep, the sun, everything else, the waters. He already got it. The trees, he already showed you who he is. The only difference is you got to put what he put in you through his word that's already in you and put it out there and go to work. As I said before, you got a lot of snakes that's looking like flowers, but ready to cut your throat and ready to tell you or box you in with everybody else to make you think that you don't know what is, what ain't. There are plenty of people in our community that's putting in the work that ain't looking for attention. They ain't looking for credit. They are networking. They are doing things, but they want you to believe that we as people don't know how to come together. Some of us do know how to come together because everybody ain't gonna go with you, people, even in your own community, even in your own race, because everybody ain't meant to go with you. And everybody ain't gonna go with you. We can't pull everybody up because they're gonna be trying to pull you back down. Let's just keep it a buck. In every community, you have fucking haters. You have haters on your job. You have haters in your school. You have haters on your team. You have haters in your church. You have haters on your school board. You have haters in your police department. You have haters in your government. So what makes you think everybody is going to be for you? You just gonna have to take the people that's with you and for you and move on. Because everybody ain't gonna get along. Field niggas and house niggas had a problem with each other. Soon as a slave tried to run away, who told? Yeah, because we still got a lot of field niggas and house niggas amongst us. You got gangs that discriminate against their own people. A dude don't want to gang bang, and the minute he says he don't gang bang or he say he ain't from nowhere, that young man gets killed. Why? Because he ain't wearing red or blue. Get the fuck out of here. So you gonna have haters all throughout life. A lot of our brothers and sisters are not going to understand, are not going to go with the program that's right. But yet we feel like we supposed to take everybody. Them Caucasian people don't take everybody with them because they treat poor white people just like they treat black people. Oh, the country is divided. It's been divided since they came here. But don't nobody want to hear that. It is never going to be a country of togetherness. It's always been divided. Everything is divided. Families are divided. And some families are whole. But just because you blood don't make them family. And I'll say it again. Don't believe me. Do your homework. Because in the word of God, It shows you who's who, but you have been taught to read the Bible on the surface level instead of going deeper because it talks about the blessed seed, it talks about the damned seed, and it talks about the beast. Those three, I'm going to say it again. It talks about the blessed seed, the damned, and the beast. They are intermingled within every family on this earth, which means some things get passed down through generations and some things get passed down through the genes. We can be a family of six, which means mom and dad, two brothers, two sisters, or all brothers, all sisters, whatever the case may be, raised by the same parent. One sister may go to college, one sister may just go to work. Brother may go out there, rob, steal, and kill, and the other one might just be confused who she or what he wants to be. Raised by the same mother and father, same principle and values. But guess what? You don't know if your parent belonged to the blessed seed, the damned, or the beast. Yeah, yeah. It can skip one and go to the other. But again, don't believe nothing I tell you. Go read it for yourself. Go read it for yourself. So I don't give a damn what party you choose. Check their record, check their policy, and see who they believe in. That'll tell you a whole lot. But forgive me if I was ranting, but I'm a little disappointed because these narratives and these spin cycles and the disrespect on both sides of the fence. And for those MAGA people, make America great again, Turtle Island was doing just fine before y'all came over here. Fucking with people. Y'all the one was in the dark ages. Not us. You were. Not our ancestors. You were. And I want to give a special thanks to Brother Dan Calloway, who I've been following for a while now. And some of the information that he's bringing that has brought to YouTube over several years, him and his wife, I had already known. But see, when a black young man or somebody like Ivan Van Serta take the same information, fact check it, and do their research, and pretty much tell you that we were already here before Columbus, 10,000 plus years, don't nobody want to recognize that. But you want to say, oh, his story. You want to believe his story. Well, he took your story and made it his story and cut you out the picture. But he don't want you to know that you were already who you were, even when you was over here. But he want to tell you that you was a slave and that they brought you from Africa. He was already here, baby. Wasn't no ships, those were boats. And you can't fit that many people at the bottom of a boat. But I'm gonna mind my business. And I'm gonna stay focused on what it is that God need me to do. Because while y'all want to pander and look up at the White House, let me tell you something. It's mighty funny they call it the White House. Couldn't give it another color. But they want to call it the White House. But they want you to make you feel like because it's white is right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. What they're doing is making right wrong and wrong right. That even includes your former and current presidents. But when it comes to the right thing to do, one side has a problem with it. But when it comes to the wrong thing to do, the other side will, fuck it, we'll do it. But again, you can't deny that both parties suck and they're shitting on people. Well, TS, no, they didn't come in like sardines, sweetheart, because the ships wasn't big enough. Because you have to have your crew, you have to have your food, and the stuff that you're bringing over. And mind you, there wasn't any engines. They were using sails. The pictures that they showed you up in history books will make it seem like that they were stacked on top of each other. But if you ever go to Virginia, I think it's is it Roanoke? I can't remember what part it's in. It might be Jamestown. They have placards, and it tells you how many people got off the ship. One ship had a total of 25 people, including indentured servants, plus the crew. But again, I want you to believe me. What I want you to do is stay focused. Because I believe there's not only an awakening that's coming, but there's a reckoning that's coming that's going to tear Satan's house down. Oh, yes, baby. See, God is moving silently while the devil is trying to speak loud and speak fear in the hearts of people that know that God is already here and he's about to tear some shit up. Because mind you, most governments are built on sand and not a solid rock foundation. Because their bid is to do evil against the people and especially against God's people. But before I close, I want you to keep Brother Christopher Dunn, who is still in prison in the state of Missouri after he was found innocent. Keep him in your prayers. I want you to keep Robert Sylvester Kelly in your prayers. I want you to keep your family in your prayers. I want you to keep, I forget the brother's name, the autistic young man who the Florida, I think it was in Tampa, failed that young man. He assaulted a teacher, but he had no IEP to sort of help him deal with his anger and emotion. So now this young man is 19 He may do 30 years in prison. I also want you to keep Texas Black Diamond in your prayers. I want you to keep Lady D husband in your prayers. I want you to keep the people of this nation in your prayers. But make sure you pray for yourself first. Cover your children. I'm not going to pray tonight. I just want y'all to take the time out and understand where we are in 2024 going forward. It's like it's quiet, but it's strange. But I believe something great is going to happen. But destruction has to come first before greatness is allowed to appear. And for those of you that are watching in the bushes, I don't want you to believe nothing I say. I want you to do your homework. And for those that have subscribed to this channel, and I noticed I got a lot of bit more subscribers, and I appreciate that. But I also want those subscribers to know, even though I put those shorts up, yes, I may come on and talk about the word of God, but yeah, I do laugh and stuff like that, and like to laugh and joke, so forth and so on. But when it comes down to this word and understanding the way I do, by way of the Holy Spirit, by way of his son Jesus, Yeshua, Yamashiach, Yahuwah, it ain't nothing to play with. I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be perfect. Shamika Williams, how you doing? Blessing, sister. But I can assure you, when God opens your eyes up to certain things or certain questions you ask him, he is going to show you. And then you're going to realize that you have been lied to about certain things when it comes to so-called church on Sunday. But I'll leave that conversation for another day. But we are God's chosen people. True Israel is a nation of people. Not that over there what they fighting for, because that, honestly, that ain't even Israel. That land was given to them by the United States and Great Britain in 1949, if I believe. But like I said, you don't have to believe me. Just do your homework. But I want each and every one of you to know, don't fall for that bullshit. Don't fall for whatever the Democrats say. Don't fall whatever the Republicans say, because they're doing in the best interest of that octagon that's up there in the center of our country on the East Coast, right dead slack dab in the middle, is business. Because in the history of this country, from Washington up until now, who has always had the wealth? Who has always had the money? No president is going to walk to your job and say, hey, give Ms. Williams an extra $9 or $10 by the hour on her paycheck, because they don't create jobs. They don't increase wages. They don't increase wages on the federal level. And that wage ain't even high, minimum wage wise. You got some people in the South still making $8, $9 an hour, but yet work at Walmart. But yet if I come to California or Arizona, I can make 16, 17. But it's the same goddamn company. Make that make sense. But again, don't believe nothing I say, because I don't want you to. Do your homework. Again, TS Cookie Shamika, and those of you that may be watching in the bushes. Again, I just want y'all to just do your homework, continue to pray, um, and know that we have a lot of work to do in a short length of time. But as long as God has allowed you to wake up this morning and you made it through the day, and if you are allowed to wake up tomorrow, you have another day not only to be great, but you have another day to make a difference. And that's what it's all about. Just as the word says, the angels rejoiced over the one than the 99. Even if you make one person happy, heaven will smile even more because you made a difference in someone's life. Because it's not always about you, it's about someone else. And even I have work to do. I have promises that I made that I still need to keep. I have relationships that I need to repair. And I have misunderstandings that need to be understood. Because when it's all said and done, each and every one of us are going to leave here by ourselves. We came in this world by ourselves. We're going to leave by ourselves. It's what we do in between the number from the beginning to the end that God has set. And I don't like to hear people say, well, oh, parents shouldn't bury their children before them and vice versa. God never told you that. You can go on your sleep and you wouldn't even know it. He didn't tell you that mama was going to go first, daddy was going to go second, you was going to go third. He didn't tell you that the children was going to go first and mama was going to go second or daddy was going to go third. He didn't tell you who was going to go first, second, last, third, fourth, or fifth. He just basically told you we're all going to die one day. Just as the number of breaths we take that are numbered, just as the hairs on our head are numbered. It's in the book. All our days are numbered. Some of us are here for a day. Some of us here for months. Some of us are here for years. But while we are here, those of us that know the truth and that will speak the truth, if God has asked you to speak the truth, you don't need to worry about when you're going to go. Your concern should be, how you going to finish your race? Your eulogy is while you're alive, not when you're dead and gone. Because you can't hear what people say about you when you're dead. What can they say about you while you are alive? So that when you do leave this earth, there's going to be some people that's going to show up that you ain't seen in 20 years and still think that you are still the same person you were 20 years ago, but they don't even realize you changed until they hear somebody talk about how you were when you were alive. That's the celebration of life. Life shouldn't be celebrated at death. If you really think about it, the sun sets when you are born. You just better hope and pray that at the sounding of the trump that you rise again. Yes. But again, you don't have to believe me. I just want you all to continue to do your best. Give it your best. Live your life to the fullest and live each and every day as though it were your last. Because none of us know when we're going to go. With that being said, my beloved brothers and sisters, I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I adore you. Without you, I can't do anything. And if you get a chance, go check Cookie out, check Skylife, Keep Speaking, DV Wild, uh, One Path, Lady D, uh, Infamous Sylvia, uh, Miss Angie, most definitely Spitting Fire. She is a blessing because, again, I said this before, the shit she has been talking about has came to pass and come true. There's a petition that they want people to sign. I think it's either Lady D or Spitting Fire. Go do that. But again, I'm going to continue to do the work that God has called me to do. I'm going to continue to be there for the people that need me and want me around. But for the most part, I'm going to be sitting in the cut. I'm not going to move unless the Holy Spirit moves me to move, because I don't like a lot of drama. I don't like a lot of bickering. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I support. I'm about love. I'm about respect when it comes to our women. I'm about respect when it comes to people. I'm about respect even when it comes to men. I'm about respecting how we talk to one another. And I'm most certainly, I'm about listening, but at the same time being quiet while conversations are being said, because that way I can learn something. But there's a lot of things I don't like. There's a lot of things that I see that I don't approve of. And I'm not going to take part in those because that's not who I am and that's not what I'm all about. But again, I want to say thank you all. Have a beautiful night. May God richest bless be upon you. TS, Shamika, Cookie, again, thank you all for being here. And until next time, I appreciate you. And I'm out. Take care.